We are now recording the March 16th, 2018 Small Business Accounting Advisors. And you, Sarah, are being tortured by the city of Savannah.
The city of Savannah has these robo cops or something, robo callers.
Calls.
And they all say either police or city of Savannah, and they're calling every single phone line, cell phone, home. What were we up to? 8 times they've called to tell us there's a parade tomorrow.
Hey, Sarah.
Everybody knows that.
I think if you live in Savannah and you don't know there's a parade tomorrow, there's something wrong.
All right.
So, Dennis.
Yes.
March 15th. The Ides of March. Does everyone here remember the Ides of March?
Julius Caesar getting stabbed.
Julius Caesar.
Yes.
Got stabbed in the back.
Hey.
By
A2
his
Brutus.
friends, and that's where you get the et tu, Brutus.
Yep.
And I said that to a group of people. The older folks got it immediately. Not one of the folks under 25 had any clue what we were talking about.
Well,
Zero.
I took Latin in high school.
one time I gave a speech at Toastmasters, and I was talking about the Peter Principle, and half the audience was like, "What? What's that?" Yeah. And I realized, oh, geez, I didn't realize I was dating myself.
Once you learn about the Peter Principle, you see it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially in our business.
Yeah.
So how you doing tax-wise, Dennis? 15th was the deadline for corporate.
I was gonna show you a little video of how I'm feeling right now, if I can find
Good.
it. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Okay. You didn't tell us that beforehand, Dennis.
That's all right. It's a good way to start.
We're flexible, and we like fun.
Can you see it?
Nope, not yet.
No, you got to share your screen. There
Okay,
you
you're
go.
coming.
If I can-
All right.
What are we looking at?
Sources of
Down the rabbit
Oh,
hole.
whirlpool?
Down the
sources-
tubes.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. You ever seen
Oh,
that?
it's Pinocchio and Mickey Mouse.
Mickey
Oh,
Mouse.
yes.
Mickey Mouse. It was
That movie gave me nightmares when I was little.
Oh, I guess.
it's kind of the way I feel with the returns coming in.
I like the visual.
What kind of percentages are no, stop, please, go away. It's the vet. Hold on. Y'all talk.
Poor Mickey.
Okay.
All right. Tax season.
All righty, Dennis.
Pardon?
Stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm going to if I can find
So
it.
do you do a lot of S corps or more personals or?
I've got about more personals than S corps.
Oh, so the 15th wasn't that big of a.
Well, the only thing I needed to remember was make sure that I filed his extension. So that's what I did yesterday, was double checking. Now, how do I stop sharing this?
There you go. You got it.
Okay.
There we are.
Yeah, so my main concern was I didn't want to be responsible for a failure to file penalty.
Yeah.
So I got about 15 extensions of those to do, and I'm just getting, everybody's just kind of, people running late and everything's just sort of piling up right now. Plus
I got my 7004 in the mail.
Is that the extension number?
Yeah. How come we can't file that? Now, if you file tax returns electronically, you can file them electronically.
I do.
But
I do
Joe Blow little companies like me.
You can't file them. You can't file them
I
electronically.
have to print it out and mail it, and all it is your name and address.
Well,
all it is your name, address, and federal ID number, and may I have an extension?
Well, I tell
Why
you,
can't we do that online?
anything I send to the IRS by snail mail, I do it certified mail.
Absolutely. I
I
was
do
going
If we
to
not.
did
say
it
that.
online, we would have a confirmation number.
When you do
Yeah.
it online, you get a confirmation that it's been filed. If you send it in the mail, you don't know what happened to it.
But that
Yeah,
just
well-
tells you how antiquated the IRS is. That
Well, like with an S corp, a failure to file penalty is like $195 per shareholder per month. You know, so I've had some people had like a $3,000 failure to file penalty.
Ooh.
Wow, that's ugly.
Now might be able to get it. You might be able to get it to abated. You could probably abate it if they haven't done it in the past. But a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know they can get it abated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what
I
they
went ahead
need
and
you
did my
for.
return, but I was one thing I'm not sure about, so I got to go find a tax friend. So I know enough unless there's something out of the ordinary. But I did finish my 1042s, the 1042s and the 1042Ss, which are the foreign 1099s.
Mm.
Ah, okay.
They're due on March 15th. I've always extended them, and because they're such a bear. And I actually finished them and delivered them on the 14th. I was like,
Nice. Congratulations.
yeah, I've never done that before. I was like, what's up with that?
So, Miss Sarah, you wanted to talk about pure bookkeeping.
I was curious. Somebody tell me again what webinar I watched yesterday.
ICB USA.
ICB USA, which
It's
is
a bookkeeping organization.
okay. And they had a webinar on bookkeeping systems or something, and I just signed up for it. And so I'm working, and I sort of had it on my other monitor and half listening. But she got really interesting about, and we all know this, that systematizing your business is the only way to go.
Absolutely.
So it's a combination of systems and value billing and getting away from the hourly model. But the only way, and I wish I had figured this out back in the 80s, especially the 90s, was how to design your business so that you don't kill yourself. You know? You're not working nights and weekends and stressed and you know. So and that's one of the things that I learned from Sleater and meeting you guys and just being in this whole new, my online colleagues that we've shared a lot of information. So my way of getting, you know how you threaten to get organized? Say, oh, I'm going to cross-train everybody.
Oh, right.
But
You never
then
do
you get
it?
so caught up in the daily whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you're happy to get off on time, you know, much less do non-billable work. That whole process is non-billable. So it wasn't until I got into the, we all have heard that story before, where I had one of my bookkeepers having a problem with another bookkeeper. I didn't know about it because it was all buried in emails. And then when it finally escalated to me and their boss, then I get into reading emails going, oh my God. So as a manager, you know, I think things are running smoothly and sometimes they're not running smoothly. It was a combination of that and the absolute terror of thinking that something is going to slip through the cracks. And if you're in the accounting business, there are so many moving little pieces.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's when I found the smart sheets, mainly because most of what we do is checklists.
I love checklists.
You know, so checklist. So I did go bookkeeper by bookkeeper, client by client, and started designing the smart sheets, or at least designed one or two and said, here, use that logic, and now do it for all the rest of the clients. And I spend a lot more time in some of the some bookkeepers than I do others.
Well, you have to because they have different levels.
Well,
Yes.
they have different levels, and but that's not always good either. But as a manager, it's still not the right program to step back and watch what everybody's doing. I have to purposely go in and out of the client and keep an eye on what's going on. But it's got the collaborative features. It's got the talking to clients on issues. It's got check mark. People like to hit the check mark and always make it so it strikes out, you know. So I'm very
this is
visual,
the
very
pure bookkeeping
color.
that you're talking about that has.
So that's really where I am. Is I keep telling everybody, because I got sick when I got the breast cancer. They were able to step in and help me, and that's when it really drove home. So anyway, so I'm half listening to this webinar. It's based on the E-Myths books. I had the E-Myth accountant. Apparently there's an E-Myth bookkeeping. Anyway, they were talking about a website, purebookkeeping.com. And so they've made a business out of teaching us how to systematize. But I can't figure out, like a seminar is $110. And they've got and when they talk about, they have a book, but Michael Gerber, that's the E-Myth bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's the system, and they give you teasers of pages from their system, like. But I'm just curious. I have no idea what something like that would cost, or whether
it would work. Yeah, everything is
the return on investment, because
different people. See,
Well,
I just wanted to throw that out there. I know some of y'all don't deal with employees and remote employees especially, but I tell you one thing that I think I need to do. I think what they drove home was you have to do it to the deepest level. Everything from click on here, open it here, file it like this, stuff that is so common sense and comes to us naturally. If you really are going to tie down a system, you need anybody to be able to sit in a chair and follow a system.
Right.
Okay. So I did that with our W-2 process, how to close out the payroll, all the tests, the forms. I mean, it's 2 pages of checklists, and I handed it, believe it or not, to my sister, who is a good data entry person, and she can follow instructions. She doesn't think.
You know what? That actually is the
and
best.
It was awesome, because she would go, check. And she'd ask a question, and you'd think, well, that's a dumb question. And then you think, no, it isn't a dumb question. It's just something that we innately know.
Right.
And you go, aha, and so you reword it. Oh, okay, now she can go past that step. And it was a fantastic exercise.
Absolutely. But how can you do that when clients are also different? Me,
I have to do it with every single client.
Yeah, I am still looking for a project management system
but in what software?
Everything. I like Trello because it has the checklist. And what I do is my checklist actually starts with my proposal to the client. This is what I'm going to do. And I start that checklist there, because like what Linda said last week, you need to show the client what it is you're doing. Right. But still, that's a higher level than what you're talking about. You're talking about going.
Well, I'm talking about past that. Like my proposals and my contracts are very detailed. This is in scope. This is out of scope. Here's what I expect from you. Yep. Here's what you should expect from me. Okay. That in itself took me 3 years. Client by client, because they were all so unique.
And that's
done. I get paid on the 3rd. Life is a joy. We stopped doing timesheets. Okay. I'm talking about that client who I've had for 15 years. And the bookkeeper may be here doing it for 15 years. I don't even know where the files are in her office.
Right. So you're talking.
I have to actually open drawers. If she's out of town, I actually have to open drawers. And we are scanning more and more. I know that, but I'm wondering how much of an investment it will be.
A couple things strikes me about this whole thing.
Yeah.
One is that, I call it cookbooking. It seems to me that what happens when there's a question that, anybody can follow the directions, but if they don't have the knowledge to make, if there's a problem that doesn't fall within the list,
right.
That's a problem.
You have to hire people who can think.
Yeah, and are they going to want to do that kind of work? Right. Second problem is that just because the process is done this way today, is it going to be done the same way 6 months from now, a year from now?
There's
I mean,
that too.
I mean, how adaptable are they?
Right.
I mean, if you try to put something,
Absolutely.
fix something in stone, I mean, how long is it going to stay fixed?
I know.
And I also
back
want
to-
to zoom out. Also, I also want to be able to put on my calendar, I am working on client A on Tuesday, client B and C on
Trying to do
Wednesday,
that.
and then I use Trello and I have the checklist for what I'm doing with each client, but I don't have the detail level that you're talking about.
But then even if you have like standard, okay, this is basically how you handle this situation. And if it's an S corp, you do this. If it's a sole proprietor, you know. But who's keeping up with those documents? Back to the wiki idea and having that knowledge base. Nobody has a knowledge. The closest I've seen is Euro. Right? They've got a plethora of knowledge articles that you can actually link. And now look at Hub. What is Gina calling it? Hub Client Hub. Did I just go blurry?
You did.
A little bit, yeah.
I got to quit moving around. Client Hub. Her idea is to have the clients, and then you can actually have links to articles.
Okay.
So, you know, that's real good if a client says, "Hey, I'm thinking about having an auction," and I go, you know, very complex. Make sure they know all the rules on how to handle an auction for nonprofit. That I could write all those instructions once and be able to share, and my staff to go, "Oh, Sarah's already dealt with this. Here's the article." But I don't know. I don't know whether if y'all had heard of this or heard of other systems that would give me some ideas before I'm.
Everybody has their own system that they like, and I have found no CRMs that really address from the zoomed out thing that you want to say on this day I'm doing this,
Right.
but then you want to have also the projects, you know, I'm doing A, B, C, D, you know, E, and I want a checklist to mark them off. And then in the end, I actually handle all of the reporting for my clients. I let my bookkeeper do all the data entry, do all the, you know, daily stuff. But at the end of the month, I want to look at the reports and make sure that they look like they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talk to the client and review what's happening.
All right.
Plus,
So that kind of is what keeps me in the loop.
Plus, you're not really factoring in life in the sense of emergencies and crises and somebody's hair catching
happens, right? Well, that's
someone's
the whole
hair catching on
purpose
fire.
of what
Yeah.
Sarah's saying, you know, she wants someone to be able to step in because that is a problem. You know, what happens if something happens to us?
Well, I had a thought that and everybody just did this.
Mute. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had a thought where and I did say this out loud. I said, what if we picked a month in the summer or something and everybody switched clients? You do your client, you do hers, and then, I mean, I'd have a ton of non-billable time because I sort of want to work together, or maybe like an intern, follow another bookkeeper through that client, get familiar with the client. What do they do? What's the quirks, you know, and all that. And
How do they get contacted?
Start documenting, because fresh eyes will go, oh, well, what about blah, 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 you know? So, and then they're just like, and they're also protective of their clients. They don't want anybody.
Well, you also have to watch out for the fallout too, and let your clients know that you're going to be doing that.
I know, because they'll go, where's Karen?
I know. Not only that,
who's this? You know, so
you know,
yeah, but
they
I
might
think
have questions that they're, you know, well, I already told you that. Why are you asking again?
so. I'm, you know, I that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking maybe instead of swapping work, piggybacking work, which would be double the work. You know, like, you know, this bookkeeper needs to sit with the other bookkeeper and go through each 1 month's work or 1 week's work.
Yeah, a month is hard to do.
Yeah, not a month. No, most of my work's weekly.
Piece it out. Yeah.
So we're talking, oh gosh, when I think of what this has cost me, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, okay, do I want to invest all this money?
Yeah.
And then, or maybe I should just do it myself. Like I need to piggyback them and write it up myself, but I don't know. So now I've got a bookkeeper whose mother is ill, and poof, she's gone. Like I gotta go, heading to Florida. Bye.
So you have to step in.
Right. Now, Sarah, you just went and got laptops for everybody. Everybody's in the box.
Right.
Isn't there any way she could take that laptop?
She took the laptop. She's got Qbox. She can access her machine here, so we're all ready to do that.
Yeah, which I mean, she's not going to spend every minute of every day with her.
But the first
to be there.
Because she said, I'm going to try to get in this weekend. I'm going to try to get in money. She hasn't even gotten to Florida. She doesn't know what she's in for.
Right.
Until all that settles down and then gets into routine and can come up with what, you know.
Sure.
I'm in this state because I have great staff and they will do everything in their power. They're not just going to get in the car and drive, you know, and then disappear on me. But you also need to be realistic, and also I need them to be with family.
Oh, absolutely. I always say family first. And
family first. So I started thinking about it.
It's hard to do that, but you know what? You need that balance. You do. I want it for myself.
I want my employees to know if something happens that we're behind them.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that boils down to, like, if it's something really serious where they can't work at all.
Right.
I could get a temp, but then if I don't have my systems, I mean, I have my checklist. I take that, you know, I have the checklists are working well.
Good.
There's still so much
detail
where and
but I don't know that you can ever get that written up in a way that you can transfer. Maybe that's where the AI can come in. Maybe there'd be some way to train a robot.
You know, awesome. I'd like a bookkeeping robot to come in and and every client's so unique.
But they're, you know, like the little speakers they have.
Yeah.
You need a little speaker to follow you around, and each one of your bookkeepers around.
Well, okay, that's an interesting thought, because I talk into my iPhone and my iPad. I don't like that texting thing.
Yes.
Even in Facebook.
Yes.
And even though it can't understand half of what I say.
You love Southern accent.
Maybe I could dictate it.
That's
Anybody
possible.
use something like
make it an MP3 or an MP4?
Or just an old, I don't know. Anyway, I was going to throw it out there that maybe, you know, how y'all would handle it, but
yeah.
I like the recorder idea. Maybe that might be something to think about. Give somebody, but I wouldn't do a whole week at a time. I would start much smaller.
Well, my clients are normally 1 day a week.
Got it.
So the problem is you're doing your own work 1 day a week.
But what you said, you know, talk in the recorder, then give that recorder to someone else, like your sister.
Yeah.
And say,
can you follow this? Yeah.
Can you follow this? And then you can make whatever changes you need to.
Right.
So maybe I will, maybe I will have a meeting and say, look, I need them, as they're working, to pretend like they're training somebody and maybe
speak
with a Word document or dictate it or something. And then maybe we'll just exchange papers and talk about. I don't have to go over accounting theory or anything like that.
Elizabeth says in the chat
that
She uses Naturally Speaking. I think it used to be Dragon Naturally Speaking.
Oh, that's the word I was looking for, dragon. What is it, naturally?
It's dictation, and the more you use it, the better it understands you.
Well, understand my accent.
I remember that a long, long time ago. I was telling, using Dragon Naturally Speaking to tell it how to do different things in QuickBooks. Press this, press that, click on this.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mine's more like, watch out for this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
More the gotchas.
Those little things that,
It's the gotchas that I want to. Like, I have one client who pays her insurance on a quarterly basis.
Yes.
For 20 years, I'm trying to get her to post it to prepaid. I gave up. So I know, without even thinking, when I'm reading the general ledger, I go right to the insurance account.
And you move it from an expense to prepaid.
Right.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you do
Per client that you need, right? Oh,
nobody else does that, you know.
But you're going to have to do that periodically because, like Dennis said, things change.
Yeah.
They get a new car.
They don't think to tell you.
And they don't.
You know what?
Think to tell you.
I'm wondering if I do this, or, you know, force. I'm just going to have to be the bad guy and just force us to do this because I've been talking about it for so long and nobody's stepping up.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I'm just going to have to say, okay, we're going to do this. Yep. That maybe one bookkeeper will look at another bookkeeper and go, oh, I don't do it that way. I do it this way. You're doing it the hard way.
That may wash out. Yep. Exactly. We've got 5 minutes left. 4 minutes actually now. So I'm going to just say a couple of the things, the announcements. On our small business accounting advisors page, I posted Intuit is looking for QuickBooks Desktop 2019 alpha beta testers. I really highly recommend doing that.
I thought you were talking QBO. They want
no, this is desktop. This is desktop. Desktop. And I really do recommend, number one, you get to see what's coming up. And number two, you get to put your input as I like this, I don't like this. And I've always found it very, very interesting to do. Okay. I've been doing it for many, many years.
Yeah, I used to be one. We used to get really cool t-shirts.
You get all kinds of crazy stuff. Right now, they pay for my pro advisor. Yeah. Membership. So,
really?
Well, I've been doing it for so many years. It's been over 10 years. Eugenia of Intuit is asking to chat with people that use QBOA, the accountant version of online. And that she said that they will compensate you. I have done those kind of chat things with Intuit. And Linda, you verified that she is actually an Intuit person.
Yes.
Very interesting, very interesting. Again, I enjoy that kind of thing because I feel like I'm getting to put my input into what the developers are doing. This is a way of letting them know this is how we work. You know, because they sit there on their desks and they think up great ideas, but they're not the ones that are doing, we'll say, bank reconciliations, you know, and they're testing it with 2 or 3 line items. We get a bank reconciliation. It's like 4 or 5 pages of a bank statement. Mm-hmm. Way different doing that than a smaller one. So
that's right. I'll tell you though, QBO really reconciles fast. Unless there's weird problems, but I've gotten really good about seeing what they are and working with my clients to train them to look for them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that brings me into the last QBO bugs. Oh my goodness. The bugs that are happening now in QBO are absolutely scary. The latest ones that they're talking about is they're not keeping the changes. So
I saw that.
I
thought it was the browser, and then somebody else said.
Sometimes the changing a browser will work, sometimes it doesn't. So all I have to say is check your work. check your work, and run your reports. You'll pick it up on the reports right away. Always, always, always look at your profit and loss and your balance sheet.
So in other words, you click save and it doesn't save.
Exactly.
So when you're
Or
editing,
it saves.
Or it saves, and if you change a date, then it zeros everything.
I heard about that one.
That one too. That's a
How
different one.
about using one of the 2 backup programs? There's Chronobooks and
Yeah, but that's a good idea if you do a whole bunch of work, but you're not going to back up.
For 1 or 2.
If it's just not working.
Once
Well,
you use it, you
want
assume that
backup
it's done
every-
and it sticks. You need to actually go out of the program and go back in to see if it's saved.
So Linda, you're talking about being able to restore back and go and see where it was before it messed up.
Maybe, yeah, like how you rescued me with Prodyne. I'm still working on that. So
I'm so glad I'm a pack rat.
I have 2.
Marcus, how come our server's filling up again? I'm like, let's get all those QuickBooks.
If you have a minute, here's the free virtual conference.
Oh, good.
Okay, it's in everybody. If you were to search for Woodard or QuickBooks Intuit, it's a 2018 QuickBooks Online Certification Exam and Advanced Certification Exam training. If you come down here, you'll see it's on next Wednesday and Thursday. You can get CPE credit there on Wednesday, March 21st. And this is all East Coast time, I believe, here. All right. And they've got a track 1 and a track 2. And I believe at the end, then you can talk to vendors and everything. There's a networking lounge. Many of us have been to this, but it's really good training. And then there's breaks in between, so you can go to the restroom and get something to drink and eat. You do it all in the comfort of your home, and it
So
just
next week?
works out well.
Next week?
This
Next
is
week, yes.
Thursday, the 21st and the 22nd. Yes.
They are very intense. I will say that, if you plan on doing this, do it. Don't plan on doing work. Plan on actually doing the certification. Plan on a day of.
Yeah,
of
sit
doing
down and do it. As a
the
matter of fact, take the class and go do some of the certification.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And your certification will last. It starts now, and you have to be certified by the end of July 31st. And then next year it'll start around the same time, and you'll have to be certified by July 31st. So it's like consistent now. They have a consistency to it that they didn't have before. Stop, share, and just go search for free QuickBooks Online conference, and you'll find it.
I'll put the link in the when I post the
Okay, because I'm not sure where the link is right now. Stacy K sent out an email, and Woodard sent out an email.
Right. Okay. Well, that's it. That's all we have time for today. So we will see you same time, same place next week.
Aaron,
Sounds
go
Weekend.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Bye.